Hello! So, if you don't know me, my name is Gemma and I've been working professionally in the industry as an actor for the past 5 years or so. And let me tell you, I definitely have had my fair share of non-paid acting jobs. Today, I just wanted to share with you my personal experiences and how I gradually went up the stages and just what I think about non-paid work and if I think it's actually worth it. So stick around and I hope you enjoy. Whee! It comes to no surprise that within the creative industry, no matter what job you do, you're going to do a couple freebies. And I can guarantee if you ask anyone in the industry, they've done their fair share of freebies and gradually worked their way up in their career. Of course, I definitely have, and I still do every now and again, time to time, but of course it depends on the role, but I'll get more into that shortly. But I guess the ultimate question, should you be taking free acting jobs? But I'm going to be going through what type of jobs that might be offering free work and whether I think it's worth it or not. So let's get started. Student films. Of course, it comes no surprise. But when I first started out, even before graduating, I was doing student films, and a lot of the time they were not paid. But at the time, this didn't bother me. It really didn't faze me, because most of the time it was located at the university that I was studying, because most of the film students were there as well. So it was no extra cost for me. All it was a little bit of walk into the campus, and overall, I just gained lots of experience learning on the job, making mistakes, and just improving and growing, not just by myself, but also with the film students that I was around as well. We were all in that learning environment, even though they were specific films. Most of the time, actually, they were for their course. But anyway, yeah, we were just in a learning environment, and it didn't faze me about money or anything like that, because, I was working and it was just a couple hours or a day or so, and they were always very flexible around me and my schedule, and most of us were only free either evenings or weekends. But what I will say is always worth to see if the production has any type of budget. More often than not, most student productions these days, they can at least cover your expenses. I'm not including food or things like that because that's just an obvious on set, and it should be. You should always be fed if you're there for a certain amount of hours. But for expenses, for you travelling there, they should cover your expenses if they can, especially student ones. But if you live locally, of course there's going to be no travel because you'll just walk there, which is perfect for them. Fast forward to now, after I've graduated, I still do a couple student projects here and there, mainly just for like film schools and things like that, because if I feel like it's a good production and I like the story and I like the role, it really doesn't faze me that it's a student production, because if you think about it, they have access to industry type cameras for free. All they have to do is rent it out, so you'll be getting industry quality footage. As long as it's a good role, good script, and a good team, you can get some of your best performances out there. I know I have. Some of my best or favourite showreel material that I've got over the years have actually been graduates or their final year students. And on top of the expenses, a lot of the courses, whether it's a uni or a film school or drama school, they often have a little bit of extra money for the course, for each year. They will at least pay you national minimum wage, and it's a little extra bonus when you film in a day or two on a project. There's a little bit of extra cash in your pocket. So do I think it is worth it? You've probably gathered what I'm going to say, but yes. Working on student films overall has been a massive gain for me and developing as an actor over the years, especially after graduating. And I think it's most important to consider that it's not obviously going to be a blockbuster production. You're all going to be learning and still just, progressing in your careers slowly and surely. Often not the people that you're going to be working with that are in these student films, they're going to be in the industry in a couple of years or so. And it's a great way to build up connections and, learn together, build up your relationship. And for an actor, it's the best place to make mistakes and learn on the job. Because when you do come to your really big roles and your really big paid roles, you'll be thankful that you made those mistakes once you've seen in those student films. Hopefully there won't be, but we're all human. We all need to learn and progress. Then at least you know what you've done wrong there and you can improve and develop on it for your next roles. My second category is small indie companies. From my experience, they are often newly graduated filmmakers, and they have created a production team for themselves. Or these are just people who just want to start making films and they have stories to tell and they've just created a production company or a small team of people that they know and want to work with. Now for these ones, kind of just like the student ones, I think it's very important to make sure that they're located somewhere close to you and somewhere that you can easily travel to. Because when it's not paid roles, I think it's most important to not go out of pocket yourself. You know, of course we're helping each other out, we're doing favours and things like that, but you also need to make sure that you're stable. And if you do have, you know, a couple quid to spare on your travel or drive somewhere, bus, or even save money and cycle or walk, is a lot better, because at least you know that, you know, it's just like your day off and you're getting something that can benefit you and help you either learn or work with your material and things like that. Because the last thing you want is to be in really tight and short for that month and, you know, jeopardise not getting food or things like that. Like, it's not worth it. You still need to survive. I know they say struggling actors, but you do need to survive. But yeah, just prepare for it if you do have something like this pop up. Have a little bit of quid saved up or your money jar just for like your expenses to get you here and there. The question is it worth it? Yes. Again, just like the student one. It's great experience, it's great to start networking, getting to know people and trying different types of roles. More often than not, a lot of these smaller companies are going to be trying to experiment and do, you know, things that they've always dreamed of trying to create. And it's a great way for you to get in and, you know, just start playing around with different types of characters and characteristics and having a bit of fun. But of course, what I will say is, you know, just be careful. Know that your health and your safety always comes first. And as long as that's all good and they're feeding you and giving you drinks, water and fizzy drinks, then yeah, I don't see any harm in it. And my final category for now is more established independent film companies. Again, it's quite like the previous category. They are a lot more established in their industry and their filmmaking, and they're just taking it that step further of having probably their own equipment, their own company, you know, they've outsourced for certain things or have people back in their production slightly, you know, just a little bit more put together. That step up, as I would say. And I would like to personally say these are either ones that can at least cover your travel, or they are ones that in general that, you know, you've worked with quite a few times and you just want to build up that relationship even more and get in a project that you think can really help you and your career and progress you a little bit further. And of course, you're probably thinking, like I have before, is, well, if they are more established and professional, why aren't they paying? You do need to consider how much money it takes to actually make a film, a series, no matter what it is. It's a lot of money, and majority of the time, most of the money either goes on locations, food and water, on expenses, on equipment, like you name it, it can all cost a lot. And sometimes they have to prioritize those basic things for production over paying their cast. Of course it sucks, you know, all of us want to be paid, of course we do. But again, if it's a type of role that you really love, you fall in love with the character, the production team, the story, you name it. If you have a good feeling about it and it's something that you really want to be a part of, the money side of it doesn't really matter so much. As long, as I said, you're not kind of messing yourself over and putting yourself in a worse position than you were before. Because again, no role is worth going out of money or being behind on payments and bills and things like that. No, it's not worth it. So in that case, it's always good to have a little bit of money just in case to cover you on your days off or your rest days that you are filming, to make sure that, you know, you're just not putting yourself out of money. It is really important. We have to look out for each other, you know, because I've been there. I've put myself in that situation. And when you're doing all of these projects, once a week, every other week, it kind of adds up. So yeah, just play it smart. Maybe do one project a month or every other month that's free, and just space it out a little bit. You'll be grateful after. And of course, the question, is it worth it? Yes. I know, I've said yes to all of these, but there's reasons why. There are good reasons why. So if this project that you're involved with this company really benefits you as a performer, you know, developing your skills, or you're getting footage that's really going to help your show reels or showcase different types of roles you haven't had the opportunity to yet, these are the places that you can do it. Because you can be more picky and choosy of what you want to do, because you are essentially doing them a favour in a big way. So it's always good to know your worth and, you know when to say yes or no to these types of projects. And personally, I think to only do it if you really are passionate, again, about the role, the project, the people that you're working with. Like, if you love them, know them, or they're friends and things like that, I don't think there's any harm in being involved with it, because it's all about collaboration and working with people and sometimes helping others out. And as I said, if it's a passion project and it's, you know, with a team or a company that you really care about and love, and you just want to make something new and different and tell a story in a completely different way you wouldn't be able to normally, then do it. There's literally no harm. These are places, as I said, you can explore and try new things. And I think the reason why I've said yes to all of them is because, for me, I have done all of these steps and I still sometimes do some of these steps. But the biggest thing is making sure that it's the right thing for you and your career. There's no point doing it if you're not loving it and you're not excited or happy, or you feel forced in doing a project you don't want to. No, no. You shouldn't be doing that. You should never be forced to do something. It should be about collaborating and working with people or on a project that you care about. Over the years, I have done these things and I've worked through these stages of completely non-paid, gradually to expenses and so forth. I think overall, it's just knowing when you're ready to move on and do something different. And yeah, just knowing your worth. I think that is extremely important, and knowing your experience and skills are valuable. They are. Because as they say, it's always good to strive for better. They are my 3 types of, you know, fields or types of projects that are mainly free for actors. And overall, there's nothing wrong with doing free projects, but to an extent. So my mindset, for example, is if I really do feel like I'm being taken advantage of and people are using my skills and my talent for their own benefit and they're not actually have any interest or heart about me as a person or as a business, then of course you shouldn't do it. You should never feel used or just an object. You should feel valued and a part of the team, the company, and to realise that every person is an asset in the project and they're all important. You are important in every project you do. Just obviously respect everyone, love everyone, because they're all important. Anyway, sidetracked. But of course I will say no to these types of projects if I feel that I'm actually not excited about the role, if it doesn't, you know, spark my star, spark my light, spark. I'm really bad with these types of phrases. But yeah, if it just isn't something that I'm passionate about, and especially now if it really puts me out of pocket, or I have an opportunity elsewhere that is paid, or, you know, just a reality of life, I actually need to work and I can't take any, you know, non-paid projects at this point, that's totally fine. It's just figuring out a balance that's right for you and when you feel, you know, it benefits you doing these types of projects for free. But what I like to try and go by, and I'm sure you have heard it before, is always go with your gut instincts. You know, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Really trust in your gut instinct. And if for me, if I feel excited or nervous that I'm not going to do the role well enough, or I'm worried I'm going to muck up, those are quite good signs that I'm actually excited and passionate about the project and it is something that I want to be in and share and showcase. So at the end of the day, I do think it's okay to take free acting roles every now and again, but of course, know your worth. It's just knowing what's the best things for you and your career, because everyone's different. You got this. I hope everything goes well, and if you've got any questions or concerns about this sort of thing, of course reach out to me. You're more than welcome to, or just talk to fellow actors and see what they think of a project, or your loved ones. I think your loved ones are always able to tell if someone's trying to kind of screw you over essentially, and who are able to see what you can't, because obviously you just want to be acting, you want to be doing stuff constantly, but they will be able to. But for me, most of the time, they're actually able to realise things that I don't, of, you know, they're kind of using you, and that's not what you want. So just talk to people who you trust and get their opinion, and yeah, go with your gut. But I hope this has helped you a bit, and I wish you all the best with all the projects that are coming your way. Wait for it, they are coming. And yeah, it's okay to say no to projects. Of course, it's okay. But yeah, have a great evening, day, wherever you are, and take care. All right, bye.